firstly want to thank you for, allowing me to have this chat with you today. It's been
My
a long
pleasure.
time coming, so I've been looking forward to this. I want to jump in on one of the lines that you threw down on E Bad Ballerina, where you said,
Yeah.
I'm a summer bodies are made in winter. Yours was made in 93. So is that like a direct reference? Like, were you literally born in 93, or is that
Yes, I was. Yes, I was. Yeah.
like so yeah, so basically if you were born in 93, you're fairly young. So I want to know,
Somewhat.
yeah, you fairly young if you're born in 93. So
Yeah.
as a person who is into hip hop and is doing hip hop, who would you say you sort of grew up listening to that sort of inspired you to be like, I'm gonna be a hip hop artist one day?
For me, like literally straight up Missy Elliott. Like that is for me just one of the people I just looked at with so much character. Like, Missy Elliott used to do the backings for Aaliyah and everything. Like the fact she rap and now she studied music and got a PhD. Like that for me is the most motivating. Like that's a great example of passion and dedication.
Mm. Now it makes a lot of sense.
Talents together.
Yeah. It makes a lot of sense that you look up to someone like her, who's very well
Yeah,
versed.
and such an individual. Do you remember those
Mm.
puffy jackets and the aluminium vibe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like how much of, that whole Missy Elliott aesthetic, do you carry as an influence? Does it sort of bleed into, maybe the visual side? Does it bleed into the way that you lay out your bars? Like, how much of that do you take?
Um, bars wise, yes and no, but because bars wise, everything relates to me personally. My music
Yeah.
is always the phase I'm going through in my life at that time. But aesthetics wise, her costume game, like even Bad Ballerina, I got to photo shoot in a tutu. I plan to have many more costumes. I'm a costume queen. I loved that everything she said related to how she looked physically.
Yeah, and I think it's really it's something that's really important that a lot of people miss actually, and I feel like it's one of the things that makes you unique, when it comes to being an artist, from the side of
Character,
urban.
yeah.
Yeah, you gotta spice it up a little, as obviously you say with you the Zulu girl with the little spice. Where does that come
Zulu girls
from?
are
What
a little
is
spice.
Yeah. Tell me about the spice with the it's the spice that
Uh,
makes you, unique from the other
I
Zulu.
might be looked, frowned upon for what I'm about to say. Uh,
Go for it.
basically, Zulu girls are seen to be a little obedient. People love Zulu girls because they're
Yeah.
obedient. You know, the spice is we have an Indian gene in our family.
Oh,
So Zulu girl with a little spice.
damn, that is hectic. Like, tell me a bit more about that Indian connection in there. How was it linked to you?
My dad's mom.
Oh, that is hectic. So actually, we can say you got a bit of colored or a bit of mix in there.
No, not at all. I'm a Zulu girl, fully. She was
Oh,
also
yeah.
only half.
Okay, I see. No. Makes
Yeah,
100%.
with a
Makes a lot
little
of sense.
spice, just a little spice, a tinge for the taste.
Oh yeah, so as we chatting right now, obviously when we were planning the interview, we were gonna link up in Durban, but you're obviously in Joburg at the moment. How
Yeah,
have
I'm
things sort
enjoying
of
it
been
now.
that side? I saw actually a post from a homie of mine, Flexi Benzo, that we've had on the show, and I think
Yeah.
an event that you were hosting.
Well, yesterday was my birthday.
Oh, hey, happy belated birthday! Shout outs.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yesterday was my birthday, so we hosted a little event at the bar in Sunning Hill.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the birthday celebration, and a little host there.
Yeah. So with you, does it basically doesn't stop at you just being a hip hop artist? You also, is this like hosting gig a regular thing that you do as well?
I used to host. I used to host a bit. It didn't really pan out, and I also just wanted to focus all my energy into the music. So I left that. I used to work in the club, and after that, we started hosting with a friend of mine. But
Yeah.
like jack of all trades, master of none, and music's where I want to be.
So now what sort of made you be like, I want to sort of shift from doing the whole hosting thing. I want to shift from working in a club to sort of just focusing on music full time. What was this
You
sort
know,
of intervention that sort of happened?
like basically, it's basically just the music industry is hard.
Yeah.
Industry is tough, and you've got to dedicate yourself fully. So I just realized then I'm not going to make the moves that I want to make if I'm giving it a half and half. I'll go to studio when I can. I'll go to studio after work. I'll go to studio, and those pieces don't come together. You got to be fully dedicated. And there's branding. There's so much to focus on that you actually can't just like split your energy as much as you want to. It's actually not good to split your energy. When you dedicate yourself to the music, you actually get the results.
Yeah. So with you, you know, being the artist that you are as Miss Andii, you know, within the music now that you're focused on, you did mention it would see, you know, there's a lot that actually goes into it. So with you,
Yeah.
is there like like a team behind you? You know, umuntu ozoshaya graphics, umuntu that's gonna organize gigs and whatnot, or is it just literally everything has to be done by you type thing?
I have a booking agent, and so through the booking agents, I do have like a graphic designer, Lungstar. He's actually so dope. Done all my artwork.
Yeah.
For Bad Ballerina, and he did it now for my EP that's coming for Moneybag Baby. And yeah, they all are part of one team from Livecom. The booking agency is called Livecom.
Yeah.
So those I have behind me currently. Everything else is me.
And would you say that it makes a difference, you know, in looking at your career and how it has panned out? Does it make a difference having, you know, different opinions and different people, you know, helping with the movements and pushing it forward as opposed to you being, you know, solo?
It makes such a big difference. You know, as an artist, you can record the same song 5 times. You know, you strive for perfection.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just need someone to just tell you, yo, okay, this is perfect. This is fine. Don't drop this now. Drop this a little later. Like Peace Sign he produced, mixed and mastered my entire EP that's coming now on the 16th of April.
Yeah.
And, you know, he's my ear sometimes. Just, okay, stop now, go now. And also don't drop now. It's not a good time. Drop it, you know, because obviously in the industry, there's places and times. You can't drop at the end of the year. All the bigger artists drop at the end of the year. And if you're at that level, your music will get swallowed.
Yeah, no, I hear you loud and clear. Like the mere fact that you mentioned in Peace Sign, I did check as well. Would see, as you say, you produced and mixed and mastered and whatnot. What has your sort of experience been like? Yeah. What has your experience been like working with him? Because I think I recognize the name from one of the people that has also worked with Bad Milk as well, who we've had on the show.
Yeah, Bad Milk, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So how's your
working with Peace Sign has been such a blessing for me. Female in the industry is actually pretty hard. Like there's times you go to studio and you think someone is working with you, but there's an ulterior motive.
Yeah.
Working with and has been so blissful. The respect is so great. The peace of mind, the honesty, the dedication. Like he's really good at what he does. Like he's actually really good at what he does, and it makes me happy. And at the same time, I can go to his studio and actually feel respected.
You know, speaking of, you know, ulterior motives that homies have, when it comes to women, you know, making music and recording in their studios and all that there, you know, have you ever had like an experience like that in Durban actually?
Oh, I've had plenty of horrible experiences, and I'm sure so many females have. I'm sure there's so many females sitting out who've left their music career because, you know, if you go to a studio and someone starts hitting on you, you kind of feel like, okay, maybe I'm not what I do. This guy just had his ulterior plan.
Yeah.
It actually can break your like self-esteem because you just like, okay, did you want to work or you were just trying to get me out?
And how did you sort of work your way around that? You know, for anyone who's even listening who's a female and may have been broken down by something like that, how do you maneuver past it?
I have a bad attitude. It all ended badly. I just cut ties. If you don't respect me for what I'm willing to do, then I can't like respect you either. It just shows me you don't respect me as a person and you don't understand what I'm going through, because as a producer, you need to know that it's actually hard in the industry to get your name out there. It's hard to get your name out there. It's hard to get your music out there. You can drop a song and no one will stream it. Understand? Like, not everyone is just gonna jump on. Even your friends don't even stream your music. Let me tell you that.
That's true.
Like, even friends don't even listen to your music. So now you're like depending on a bunch of strangers to just listen to it once. So if you don't understand the pressure, like the heartache, the pressure that comes with that, then you don't respect my craft, and I actually can't work with you.
Yeah, I think that carries a lot of value with what you just said there. You know, cutting ties is probably the best thing to do. So
it's the best thing. I mean, we don't see each other, so why are we here?
Exactly. You know, a lot of people will go maybe on your Instagram and they basically see, I believe they see a work in progress. I believe they see an established artist. But you know, a lot of things that a lot of the people don't see is all of the stuff that happens maybe behind the scenes or things that have happened prior to where you are currently. I
Ooh.
want you to sort of paint a picture for me in terms of what the household was like where you grew up and sort of molded you into being the person that you are.
Okay, I come from a very musical background.
Yeah.
Actually, today is my late brother's birthday.
Mm.
My dad played the piano, played the electric guitar.
Whoa.
Uh, my uncle plays the piano, plays the guitar. He also on Sundays, my dad and his younger brother just remake the versions of like classics and for fun in
Yeah.
the house. So when I was younger, my sister and I on a Saturday would wake up in the morning and my dad would set up the microphone and we would play performance, like pretend. And, that's where for me, like the love came.
Mm. Mm. And when you
Yeah,
yeah, continue.
I mean, obviously for my parents, it was a bit hard to hear, I want to be an artist. Your parents want you to have something secure and something sure. And,
Mm.
the music is not sure, but the support I get for them is absolutely amazing.
Mm. I really like that you dropped the fact that you guys used to do performances, wake up on a Saturday and do that. I recently had a band on that I was talking to, called Marine, and they basically specialize in like live sets or like their thing, and they were going on about how theatrical it is and all that. So with you, being an artist and looking at the live performance aspects of things, for someone who hasn't been to a show that you're headlining, what can people sort of expect, from a Miss Andii live performance?
A lot of character. And I'm so glad you asked me that. Like,
Mm,
some artists are recording artists. Some people are better recording and some people are better performing.
yeah.
Like, my hope is to go down as a performing artist.
Mm,
So a lot of character. I think what you expect is a lot of character. If you don't get it from the bars, if you see me do it, you'll get it then.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it makes killer sense. I mean, the fact that you even just sort of shifting it back to the Durban movement and all that. I remember, Wuti, I think my introduction to you was a song that you did with Uyashna and Lex Lafoy. I want you to tell me,
Bible.
Wuti. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, how was your experience working with those super talented ladies there? And I gotta, commend you guys for doing that because I feel like a lot of women aren't collaborating enough. So how was that whole experience for
Yeah.
you?
I mean, the whole goal of that song was for women to come together,
Yeah.
and we did it on Women's Day. Actually, we got into the studio on the Saturday, and on the Tuesday we shot the music video.
Mm. Sure.
And we were just like, let's just take it like this, fully do it. It was really just to just embrace the fact that women can work together, and we can each other and support each other and understand the things we all go through in the industry. But either
Mm.
way, we ride.
Yeah. And what would you say you sort of learned, from each lady? What did you take away from Lex? What did you take away from Yashna?
Lex, I have to say, there's a lot of respect for me there. Actually, outside of the song, Lex took me on. I actually, in that time, to be honest, I was going through a spiritual awakening, and
Mm.
Lex guided me through it, because she's very spiritually connected,
Mm.
and felt like she was brought into my life in that moment. Outside of the song, she was brought into my life to actually carry me through that journey.
Mm.
From now, I learned hard work.
Yeah,
That
definitely.
is a very dedicated woman. Yeah.
Mm, mm. And I want you to tell me a bit more about that spiritual awakening, if you're comfortable. Give
Yeah, I'm
me,
perfectly. Yeah. It's actually
yeah,
one of the most beautiful moments in my life.
yeah. Let me in on it. What happened?
Okay, well, so I was in Joburg for years, and I started the music off on the side and it went really well. But there came a point where almost as much as I wanted to do it, my body was, just spiritually, I wasn't able to do it. So I decided to go home because it's almost like having writer's block, but
Yeah.
it's just thing block, like I don't feel like getting on stage. I don't feel like doing anything else. I find this all so hard. And I went home, and obviously God intended for me to go home because there was something he had for me to grow. And when I got home, things started to make like a lot more sense. And I understood where I wanted to go. I understood myself as a brand. Because, you know, as much as you're an artist and you're meant to create, like, you get shy sometimes. It's like, will people understand me? Will people accept me? Because at the end of the day, you make music, and I love to make music for me. But at the end of the day, you to the people.
Yeah.
So being in Durban again, just being around my family, like, I'm very family orientated. I absolutely love them, and almost felt like a lot of weight was lifted on my shoulders being around them, because they actually showed me so much support. Like, my mom doesn't understand how the music industry works, but she like makes the effort to ask, what is Spotify? And this well, mom, just download it so you can how must I get your music? Okay, when are you released? Mom, if I'm quiet, my mom will go, what's going on with the music?
Yeah.
And that is just stunning. You don't always have someone to tell you, hey, you're on this journey, girl. What's going on?
Yeah. And would you say it was, so basically the issue was sort of not being at home, or maybe this the vibes in Joburg?
No. It was not being at home. It was being spiritually detached. It was being called back. You know, like in the morning, I meditate, I pray. And I think I went through just a long phase where I wasn't even doing that anymore.
Yeah.
I was just trying to, you know, when you're so sure you want something.
Yeah.
That you push yourself so far into that thing, you forget that you need to be a person first.
Yeah, you know, it makes so much sense. Yeah.
I needed to go home so I could relate back to what I believe in, relate back to my spirituality, relate back, talk to God again.
Yeah.
And being at home actually brought that back for me. So forever grateful for that decision I made.
You know, just looking at the fact that you did start out in Joburg, as you said, and then you had to obviously move down here because of the whole spiritual awakening and whatnot. You know, you're in a perfect position to basically know what's going on in both scenes, you know, the Joburg scene and the Durban scene. So for you and your experience, you know, what are the pros and cons of each? Because a lot of the people complain about Durban. Like I can tell you, like I can even cite a lot of interviews that we've had about the issues that we're facing in Durban when it comes to artists. So I want to know
Durban's
from your experience. Yeah, from your experience, how's it different?
For me, I like the work ethic that is in Joburg. You know, like, let me make, for example, Dase, Blackie, Scribs, Aux Cable. They recorded that song on the Wednesday and they shot the music on Thursday. Damn. The music video did on Friday.
What?
You know, and like that is the work ethic that is in Joburg. So where I feel it's a con, in Durban, it's kind of slow. Like if I tell someone, yo, like I need a beat, like tell me how much it is, tell me what to do, and then, you know, like go by and this person's quiet. And I'm like, bro, if I wanted it a month later, I would have asked you a month. There needs to be a push, but I also feel like we cannot blame it on Durban. There is nothing Durban that's related to the industry. Like in Joburg, Trace is here, 5FM is here, Metro is here. There's TV channels, there's radio stations, there's everything you have access to. You can physically go to SABC and drop off your CD with your songs on it and like to submit to radio. Whereas when you're in Durban, like you send an email. Can you imagine how many emails Metro gets a day? Who's opening yours?
Sure. So then would you say that it would be your music career, like using you as an example, is better off as Miss Andii? Would you say it would see you better off in Joburg than you are this side?
No, I don't believe in that. I think how I travel back and forth to Joburg now is just as there's things I'll miss out on. But for me personally, as a person, it's actually just as productive because obviously I did the groundwork this side and I'm in Durban. I don't feel like Durban should be slept on. The best talent comes from Durban.
That is actually true. I completely agree with
so
that.
So Durban's not the problem. It's the infrastructure that sits in place. That's the problem.
I get the
a song, but I need to submit it somewhere in Joburg.
I think you're the first. Yeah, whereas
Whereas if I'm in Joburg, I can go every week to Metro and twice a week go drop off a disc. Do you know that if someone sees the same disc all the time, at some point they're gonna listen.
Yeah.
Maybe I can just go to Metro and try bump into someone, and people think that's groveling and people think that's like weird, but it's like, do you want to make it? You don't know what Casper went through to get to where he is. You don't know what AKA did to get to where he is.
Yeah.
You got to your try.
Man, that is some general, like genuine food for thought right there. You know, you're the first artist as well that's actually come on and spoken about the infrastructure. That is an interesting aspect. But a lot of the artists that come through also talk about it's not necessarily tribalism because it's not tribes, but like the cliques, basically. Do you think that's one of the things that sort of, I mean, is that even a thing, you know, according to Miss Andii?
Yeah, Durban is very cliquey.
Yeah. Would you say so? That is something that basically exists through the eyes of Miss Andii as well.
I'm not a cliquey person. I'm not like my closest friends are my family.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not a cliquey person. I can chill with anybody. I don't care where you're from. If you have respect, I want to get to know you. You can learn something from everybody. So I do feel like Durban is very cliquey. You know, people sit with said people, and it's either like you make it into the squad or not. And I don't feel like I need to audition to live my life.
Nice and straight to the point. I really like that. You know, I think we should get to the crunch talk, which is obviously by the time this is released, you know, Moneybag Baby will have been out already. So I want you to sort of, you know, let me in on what sort of went, the amount of work that went into you, you know, getting it to be the product that it is.
A lot of removing of songs and adding of songs, you know, but that just comes with like wanting to perfect everything.
Yeah.
You know, you make a lot of decisions. The best part of Moneybag Baby for me is the intro and the outro, because it actually comes from one of my close friends. He sends the craziest voice notes. And that voice note just linked so well with the EP. And I was like, bro, can I just like put you on the intro and the outro? And he said, dope. And I said, aight. And when you hear it, it just like, because he literally says, wake up and go get that money. And he sent it to me in the morning. He's like, yo, I'm like, wake up and go get that money. And he literally says, wake up, write some rhymes and go get that money. It's a lot of, it was just, you know, some songs were supposed to be there. And then I was like, I think maybe this doesn't fit so well with the project.
Yeah.
Because, you know, Moneybag Baby is coming from the angle of, I'm trying to get the cash. You know, and I've been working hard to get it. So that's literal story around that. So there's a lot of songs that were removed and a lot of songs that were placed back, and then
I mean, how long has it been sort of in process for?
Oh my god, a year almost.
Damn. And the tracks in total?
Okay, not a year. I think last year October, I was solid with it, and then I made a change in January again. You know, as a body, I mean, Moneybag dropped last year on my birthday on the 9th of April. So it's a year old right now.
Yeah.
Sitting on number 1 on Miss Cosmo's The Stirrup.
Shout out.
Yeah, I like blessed. Best birthday present ever.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Moneybag's a year old, and then there's the next song is Moneybag Extension, which in Moneybag Extension, it's how I connect to the money spiritually, like what it's for. Like, you know, everyone raps about money.
Yeah.
But your story, why do you want it? You know, and how you getting it? And for me, it's just like, you always want your money to come from a good place.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Moneybag Extension, like, kind of just like connects the spirituality to the money. There's a song called Controversial. Just Controversial is a bit of just a chat, like, of how females get into the industry, and in the attempt to be controversial, it's always sexually related. I don't enjoy that. I think you have more to offer as a person, you are male or female.
Yeah. You know, this is really that part about, you know, when a woman breaks into the industry and it's always, you know, sexually related and whatnot. I really like that you bring that up, because I do feel like if one had to look at your Instagram, like, you could definitely like the first thing that jumps to your mind isn't that, you know, it's basically you can see that
Yeah,
it's someone who's wanting to make music, it's someone who's passionate about what they're doing. But at the same time, I like how you do get one or two images that you put up where, you know, you sort of show that side. And I think,
I
you
like
know,
to
is that
think I'm a sexy
intentional?
hunt, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I like to
So,
think I'm a sexy hunt. And I feel like, especially as a black woman,
mm,
black women were taught not to be sexy. Don't embrace your sensuality. Don't embrace your sexuality. Be
yeah,
prim and proper. And I'm just like, but those are the details that make a woman. The fact that we can nurture, the
yeah.
fact that we can and care and be sexy at the same time. It's be
Mm.
every be a woman. That those are the best parts. Like women look better naked than men. Let's be honest. Are sexier. Allow us to be sexy. It
Yeah.
doesn't a beep and it doesn't make me a next. It just means like I just embrace myself fully.
This is wow. This is really beautiful. You know, like the she is king part. You know, on Moneybag Baby. Tell me a bit more about that. Elaborate.
So I'm gonna make a series of EPs and they'll
Yeah.
all be titled King. So even the next project is recorded and finished, you know.
Damn.
So this one is She Is King Moneybag Baby. The next one is No Ice Boys. So She Is King for me is just to remind you, just like the royalty that is a woman.
Yeah.
Obviously there's king and queen and that's ranking. And you know, and I'm just saying she is king. Behind every successful man is a
Is a queen.
thank you. So
Yeah.
who
But
actually
a
so
bit
who
of
brings the mind? Who brings all that greatness?
basically we just broke down, you know, a bit of She Is King, Moneybag Baby, and I appreciate that. It's obviously releasing on the 16th of April,
Yeah.
of which by the time this is out, it will have already been
Yeah.
out yet. So I hope that, you know, I'll hope and pray that it does super well. I want you to give me your favorite track on the project so we can play out with it just now when we close out.
Oh my God. Oh my word. I actually think it's Moneybag.
Yeah, yeah. Why that
Yeah,
one in particular?
Moneybag had a, you know, it's fun. It like bangs,
Yeah.
and also I actually just got to say my because there's a part where I say producers try to lay me. I think that they're crazy. My craft could never fail me,
Damn.
and that is like an obstacle you had to overcome. Because I won't lie to you, going to a studio and someone acts funny, like it's sometimes when you go home, you're like, okay, maybe I'm not so good at this.
Yeah.
You know, it makes you so. That for me, I want to even open a record label for females only.
Yeah.
So females are not harassed, are not bothered. You don't need to sleep with anybody to get to anywhere because there's a lot of that messy stuff happening. I just want women to just have their place. It's a very male dominated industry and we cannot lie about that.
Mm. I think those are very beautiful closing sentiments to this chat, you know, ending off on women empowerment. So shout out to you. We're going to be playing out with Moneybag. And then obviously before we bow out, I need you to give me all your handles where people can get in touch with you and connect.
Okay, so Instagram and Twitter is at Ms. Andii. So MS underscore AND double I
Mhm.
underscore. That is Instagram and Twitter, and Facebook is just Miss Andii. You'll find me there. But if you just type in Miss Andii, you should find your way
All right.
around.
All
And
right.
on my pages, the links to my email addresses for bookings and everything is there.
All right, sick. Well, I just want to thank you, Miss Andii, for joining me today, taking a moment out of your time to have this conversation. Although
Thank
brief,
you
but
for
I
having
feel like
me.
I know you a lot better. Yeah, yeah, 100%. Anytime,
Yeah.
anytime. You always welcome back on the show. And
Great. Let's do this next week. I'm joking.
oh yeah. So guys, if you've been listening to this, you're probably listening on SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify. We are Sludge Underground podcast on those platforms. On Facebook at Sludge Underground, Instagram at Sludge Underground, Twitter at Sludge031. As for myself, it's at Zwane031. And we're gonna be closing out with Money Bag by Miss Andii. Until next time, it is bye for now.
Yeah, pull up with the set, rolling with the tick, money in the bag, oh we looking clean.
Pull up with the sass, the Sandy got finesse, subtle with the flex, then I go and get the money bag, the money bag. Say again, the money bag, the money bag. Zulu bass, the money bag, the money bag. Say again, the money bag, the money bag. Zulu bass. Sassy, sassy, sassy. You know I could never be flashy. You know the class is so damn candid, and these bars are so unkind. Cause the same bitch with the manners dropping bars up on these bangers. Fuck these niggas, leave them hang. Fuck these bitches, make them panic. Make the game shake when I pull up for the game's sake. Make these silly rhymes that I've been hearing take a vacay. I've been listening, I've been watching, hoping it's all play. Don't worry about who I think I am. Been writing these since way Mayday. Turn me up for payday. DJs, you should play me. Producers try to lay me. I think that they're crazy. My craft could never fail me. The hype just don't faze me. Just pay me. I don't need no favors.
Pull up with the set, rolling with the tick, money in the bag, oh we looking clean.
Pull up with the sass, the Sandy got finesse, subtle with the flex, then I go and get the money bag, the money bag. Say again, the money bag, the money bag. Zulu bass, the money bag, the money bag. Say again, the money bag, the money bag. Zulu bass.
Why you always acting shady? You don't know me, pull up on you like the baby. True story, I gave you pops, you gave us corny. Hella funny, man, the game is kinda phony. Genuine, she ride the pony. Working long nights, I'm fed up. Seems I look on, get out. Since I'm a movie actor, she's a lumdwana bella. Running my lane in Della. Got to shower with pressure. All of my flows are hot. Zulu bass hit the spot. Now they calling me rock. Man, I'ma smash the blocks. Arms, check, chest, check. I've been working my fitness, so I pull up and set.
Pull up with the set, rolling with the tick, money in the bag, oh we looking clean.
Pull up with the sass, the Sandy got finesse, subtle with the flex, then I go and get the money bag, the money bag. Say again, the money bag, the money bag. Zulu bass, the money bag, the money bag. Say again, the money bag, the money bag. Zulu bass.
We just get the bag, rolling with the set. I just get the cheese, dripping on the sweat, on some other steez. Boy, you know it lit. I see on the beat, and the shit a piece.
Pull up with the sass, but Sandy got finesse, subtle with the flex. Then I go and get the money bag, the money bag. Say again, the money bag, the money bag. Zulu bass, the money bag, the money bag. Say again, the money bag, the money bag. Zulu bass.